All
And we're
right,
live.
guys. Yeah, there we go. We're live. Well, welcome to another episode, I guess, of the Edison Motors. I was about to say blue collar
Yeah, back to the old days.
podcast. The blue collar pod. No, I guess this is the Edison Motors podcast now, since basically a dedicated podcast about Edison Motors, where we're going to try and give weekly, bi-weekly updates. So it kind
What's with the
Episode
stragglers
number
on
3.
there, Chase? Yeah, it's
What's
episode
up?
3. I was just say, what's with the stragglers there? You got a few extra guys this episode, Chase.
yeah, we got the whole crew here today. Here with Connor. So we're up in Red Deer, Alberta this week, and we're doing training with Scania. So we're going over all of the emission systems, all of the programming systems, like how to look at the computer, how to adjust variables on the motor, how to basically do the factory setup of these motors, diagnostic, and like it's kind of more of like that dealer training course, technician training course. So
Yeah,
we have to do it, and if we want to be able to spec and install it, so brought a couple of our engineers, a couple mechanics, and they've just been running them all through the course. Honestly, I'm really happy with it.
That is really sweet. And we'll get back and more into it. I'm just curious though. Have you sold Joel any Bitcoin while he's back there?
Yeah, I lost 20 grand in Facebook.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna
All right.
retire early, but
Sorry,
Apparently
Joel. I
not,
just had to
so.
toss that in there.
Oh my god, yeah, but that should be a first update. We got our Facebook back, finally. I think that only took over 400 reports from Theron. Tons of reports from everybody else. We had to get the government involved.
I have to say, it's not just reports. Like, you can report, but that doesn't do anything. I had to go through this other channel where I had to take their video, I had to find our original video, and I had to put them together. And each one, if you get like over 6 to 10 in one, I guess, a report, you have a better chance of getting them taken down. But I did that about 400 times. So it's like a huge number. And then
couple claps for Theron on that one. That's a big effort, boys.
it was huge. It took about 2 weeks. And then the main fake Chase accounts are still up. Well, not the main. I got one with 60,000 removed, another with 30. But there's some big ones. But we have the official Facebook back, which is huge.
And I had access now back to my messages, so I could see what messages people were saying. So for the ones of you falling for that, which it wasn't very many, but there was a couple, like, dude, that was pretty AI. Like, that was a pretty Photoshop pictures. And I would like to clarify for everyone that I will never be selling Bitcoin or some weird cryptocurrency thing, nor messaging you about it. That's just weird. We're in the middle of doing an investment raise with Edison. I'm not also trying to hustle on the crypto market. So that one's obviously out. But for those of you that did message, which are the vast majority of you, absolutely relentlessly screwed with this guy. I had to go back and unblock about like 200 of people that he was just blocking after getting annoyed. And like, big props for all of you guys, all the fans wasting the scammers' time. That's how to deal with them.
That's pretty. Were people like some dedicated, like trying to mess with him, but like stringing him along? That's sweet.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. There were some people definitely stringing him along, and like respect to that. Like just wasting his time and like trying to like getting him far and be like, I don't know, and like you could just tell that they're just keep fucking with him, and you're like, yes, I love that.
I just lost money.
Joel was fucking at him by just throwing him money. Like, I got you. You think I believe this? And I'm sending you money.
You're so
an idiot.
stupid.
I know you're just actually spending this on to support your family in Nigeria.
Right? Yeah, gotta keep them fed.
He was in Nigeria too. Chase
Oh no, I'm not even being racist. We were able to find out where he lives. I've got the guy's I got his street address. I'll put it in the group chat later. But I got the guy's street address and cell phone number, and I phoned the guy. And I'm like, hey, can I like get my Facebook back? Because I'm like not dealing with Facebook, but managed to figure out where he was from through some clever people, like who were able to message him and then find out and get his information through the fucking router. And like, anyways, like, can I get the Facebook? He's like, no, I'm still scamming people, bro.
Just so proud of it. No, I'm busy scamming.
My Facebook back. He's like, $100,000. I'm like, I'm not paying you $100,000 for Facebook.
No, that's crazy. I was gonna say, like, because we talked about like these fake pages and how annoying they're. I seen one and I actually follow them now because I just appreciate it. It's just this Edison fan page. Like they labeled it as that. And I was like, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's fair.
You
That's
want to
good.
post, like I follow them on TikTok. You want to just copy our videos and post them. I don't mind that. You're a fan. You say you're a fan. You're not scamming anybody. You're just getting our content more. That's fine. I like that.
And if you have like fan or something like that in your name, generally you can't get it removed because you're not pretending to be the person. So like TikTok went through and removed all the fake accounts, but they left the fan one up.
Yeah.
They labeled themselves
Which
as
is
such.
fair. Like they're labeled as like this is an unofficial page or support page. Like
A fan.
yeah, you're like, we're not gonna take those down. It's like Kenworth fan of W900 fan. Like I'm not Kenworth isn't going around and be like taking that. But if you tried to pretend to be Kenworth and then be like, hey, do you want a job at Kenworth? To apply for this job, just send me $50 worth of Bitcoin.
Joel, you should have sent that money.
I should have. I could have been making it big right now. Could have been sitting pretty in Puerto Rico or something.
Yeah. But should we get into some of the cool updates here with Edison?
Yeah, I'll just let people know that this recording here, we are live on our YouTube channel where we take questions from members, but we have now got it on the podcast platforms. I just chose Apple and Spotify for now. I didn't go through like a hosting platform because you have to pay, and I listen to my podcast on Spotify. But
yeah, that's what most people do.
Apple.
So it's up. It's up. If you don't have time to watch this whole video, a lot of
people are commenting like, "Oh, when's it gonna be on that?" I'm not watching YouTube while I'm driving. It's like, okay, we're working on it. Okay, so it's up.
No, never mind. I wasn't doing that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why iPad's in the windshield.
That's directed. You're not getting one of our trucks anymore. Our first truck we sell is for those of you guys who don't know Joel. Joel is getting one of our first trucks. He's getting the winch tractor here through Royal. There's a few YouTube videos on that. So for those of you listening on the audio, Royal is here with us, and as well as Connor, who's our mechanic doing the Scania course.
How?
I realize we're on audio, so I gotta actually tell people.
Oh,
yeah, we gotta describe them.
They can't see
the back seat wearing an Edison hoodie.
Chase is sitting a pickup truck just to give everyone the idea of what's going on. Jordan and I are in rooms in their houses, but Chase and Connor and Joel are packed into a pickup truck there. It looks like, that's a pickup.
Yeah.
That's definitely back to the blue collar day vibes, though. The blue collar videos where we're just doing.
Well, here's the thing: is like, do you guys for the fans? I want to know, do you guys want us to just make more content and make more videos and be able to do this every week? Like, I got to travel for work. I'm often busy. Sometimes we got to squeeze in, we weren't doing these podcasts for a long time because it wasn't working with travel schedules, or this person's working, or this person's picking up the kids, or whatever was going on. It was hard to work. So we're just going to try and do these when we can do them. And that's what we're going to do. And hey, if I'm doing it from a pickup truck, we'll do it from a pickup truck, but we just want to make sure we're letting people know what's going on.
Yep. Okay, getting some Edison updates off the hop here. What do we got?
So, obviously the big one this week is we are here at with Cullicut. It's doing the Scania training on the motor. We've gone over their whole programming software.
I think you gotta, Chase. It's hard. You gotta start saying an engine for an engine and a motor for a motor, because electric motors, you're working on the engine.
We're working on the engine, the diesel engine. So sorry, thanks for calling me out on that. Yeah, but no, Connor, what do you think? You're the heavy duty mechanic here. What do you think of the Scania programming for ease of?
Well, I would say it's a lot more user friendly than Cummins Insight or SIS Cat. Scania really tries to make it really intuitive for you to actually be able to fix your truck, instead of step 1, remove EGR. Step 2, install EGR. In Scania, they make it a lot more intuitive, the cleaning procedure with soapy dishwasher water, or dishwasher soap, sorry. That's the better word for it. And yeah, they just try to make it as user-friendly as possible.
Honestly, I feel like with how detailed Scania's repair manual is, Theron could actually have done the injectors on that truck.
Oh, what?
Sure.
My mom...
I'm the worst mechanic. At Edison, when they're working on stuff, I just don't touch it because I break everything and I'm a bad mechanic, and I will willfully admit that. Thankfully,
No, they were bragging about the part is that they're so for of the ability for people to work on it that they brought a bunch of like their accountants out and like their office people that have never pulled a wrench in their life, and they're like, hey, we've got a problem with this turbo. We've got a fault code. I want you to grab this laptop that with all the programming. Take this laptop and I want you to diagnose what is wrong with my engine. And I want you to go get that part, go to the parts bay, get the part and replace that part. And like an accountant that's never touched a truck in his life, he's like, we got in there and they were able to get in there, open up our thing. They were able to read the fault code. It was so easy that this, like the accountant from the office, she could read the fault code, read it, see the part number, and then follow the detailed instructions. Like it shows you exactly where the part is in the motor, highlighted with like an arrow pointed to it, tells you the tools you need for the job, tells you how to take out each bolt, like the torque for each bolt, how to replace the gaskets, and then it tells you all the part numbers you need. So when you get a fault code on the engine, it literally gives you all the part numbers that may be associated with that fault code. It gives you the diagnostic step-by-step things to check to figure out what part of the system is causing that fault code. Then it gives you the detailed repair manual on how to fix it. Like an accountant could almost follow that step. Like,
Oh, totally.
like I kind of
Awesome.
like that as far as repairability goes. And now I want to be able to work with our programmers and be like, okay, they already have this thing here and it has so much information that, yeah, the main software, you can control variables that you would not want a customer to control. So you wouldn't want to just give over the access keys, but we get all of these messages on our CAN network to the truck's controls. So what I want to do is I want to see how much, now of course I'm talking earlier, I want to make sure that we can allow it, but Scania was very, very big on repairability and right to repair. So I want to take as much as I can from that information book so that when a fault code comes up on our truck, they have as much of that information as they possibly can. Of like, hey, maybe you got a driver, he's out in the middle of the bush, out in the middle of nowhere, and it gives you that detailed level that an accountant can fix the truck. Maybe they don't have the parts, but instead of just being like, hey, I've got a check engine light on, okay, we'll send a technician over. Technician drives 3 hours, plugs in his laptop, and he's like, oh, that's what that check engine light means. I guess I'll run back to the shop and go get some parts now to come back and fix it after doing this diagnostic. You're like, you can have that information right on the display where it's like, hey, this system, check these things. These are the associated part numbers you need. And at least even if the guy isn't fixing it himself, he can tell him, hey, I've got a problem with my SCR NOx sensor number 1. Oh, NOx sensor number 1 fault code. Okay, I'm going to bring a spare one and I'm going to bring a gasket, whatever I need else on it. I'll throw that in the truck because it's likely that.
Yeah, there's a lot of intuitive
Right.
information in the software to make it extremely easy for anyone to fix it.
Yeah, and they were like, here's one of the cool things that we found out that they did. At the dealer level, mechanic level, there's an ability to submit things, they call them FQITs, but it's basically annoying engineering. That's what I said.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
us.
yeah. No, okay, you can submit a fuck it, but it's basically a way to like, hey, look, we got warranty issues and there's a warranty thing that we can go through. But we don't have to, like, there's certain things that aren't going to be on warranty or they're not broken parts, but these are things that you're like, if you're complaining about the way we've done like the engineering, and you're like, hey, I hate how I have to get this bolt out of here. Like, this is inconvenient for you to put this thing in this spot, and I have to do a lot of extra labor. And it's a chance for mechanics to directly email the engineers at Scania and say, hey, this is annoying. Please fix whatever you are doing, engineers. So they have a direct path for mechanics to tell engineers how to make their lives easier. And I've never heard of that before.
That's pretty awesome.
Like every
Yeah.
North American dealer that I know here will not do the same for you.
No.
No. Yeah. We
And,
have Wiley says that he wants them to make a pickup truck motor.
I know,
We-
honestly, if they were making a smaller motor, I would absolutely put that into the hybrid. But the smallest one we can get is a 9-liter.
Big boy.
She a big boy. She's a big 9 too. That is a big 9-liter motor. But no, it's pretty cool, and like we learned about some of the things like what they're doing, like with the individual cylinder heads for serviceability. We found out that on the next generation of, well, hopefully we're allowed to talk about that. The next generation of Scanias don't even have the EGR on them. Like, so the 770 V8 already doesn't have an EGR, but their next gen coming out, they've gotten rid of the EGR on all the smaller ones too. So you don't have that exhaust gas recirculation, no EGR cooler. Like they're just
That's
trying to make
absolutely
these things
huge.
as,
Like I
oh
know
yeah,
we got a lot of flack. Like we got a little bit of flack when we were talking about, oh, we're gonna go with Scania, and people are like, oh, like where's the parts? Where's this? Where's that? And it's like, hey, emissions less of a problem, EGR less of a problem, and everyone just turned. They're like, yeah, that sounds great. Go Scania. Like EGR just makes so many people mad and upset, and it's so much worse for your engine. It's good to get rid of it.
one of the cool things too is like for standardization of parts, the gears off of
Like the flywheel,
Yep.
like the full flywheel, that's interchangeable between the DC-13 and the DC-09.
all of the gears were interchangeable. So they use the same gears and the same parts on all of their motors, whether it's a 9-liter, a 13,
or the 16.
Engines, yeah.
same engines. Sorry. Yeah, but they try and use as many common parts so that they can have as many parts on the shelves as possible. Like that's
You
wild.
think
Like
that's
honestly,
such forward thinking, but like every company now is not doing that. They want it to be separate. They want it to be hard to get specific parts so you can make more money off those parts. And they're like, hey, ease of work, ease of access. Like it's so much better.
well, and here's the like talking with them and like some of their thought process is brilliant. Is like Scania, Scania operates through a dealer network in North America. So they run through dealerships and the dealerships do the service. Oh, is that Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
It was an empty parking lot. They park right next
Yeah.
to that.
I think you start the truck.
Oh, are you gonna switch to
doing the
Bluetooth if you
podcast.
start the truck?
Hey, we're just doing a podcast.
Live
No,
podcast.
it's all good.
That's
No, Matt, the other
Costner.
mechanic just showed up, parked next to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like we're doing dirty things in this pickup.
In here. Yeah, naughty.
I had heard in our through our comment section, people were
Clean up
saying
the
that
audio.
the reason that Scania gets away or has a better time with emissions is because they're European and they burn European diesel and it's a higher grade than us. But I'm assuming that if they're doing it here, that it's been tried and tested, right?
No, it's the we asked them about like how do they have some of these things? How are they getting the better, like how are they able to do it? They're running the engines hot. They were talking about the insulation. So one of the things is like you want to keep it hot and you want to keep your thing hot because your exhaust temperatures affects how clean you're burning. And they put a lot of insulation. They were stressing like the insulation is the important part of.
Oh boy. Are you getting that, Jordan?
Okay. Like you've got your motor here, and then you got your SCR located over here, and it's out in the cold. Well, it's getting colder, so they're having to filter more. They just wrap a 1/2 inch to 1 inch piece of insulation around the pipe so that number one, keeps the heat out of the floor. Number two, it keeps it warm, so it's burning it at its ideal temperature. That's how they get around it. They just figured out, hey, let's insulate the exhaust, let's keep it a little bit warmer. And they were quite bragging about the fact that they're European and they had their emissions codes come out about 10-15 years before we had them in North America. So they've had an extra 10 years, 15 years to work on it, more than the North American manufacturers. And they've got some great things for keeping their DEF tanks warm, because for people that don't know, Scania is in Sweden. So they are up near the Northwest Territories, north of 60 parallel. So
I missed a lot of that. I'm glad we're recording local audio too, because when we put the podcast together, we'll be able to see what you said, but your Wi-Fi dropped right out there, or mine did. But
It just dropped for 2/3 of that, or a third of it. So.
oh, sorry. Honestly, we need to fix the infrastructure in Canada. I'm in the middle of a city. How do I not have decent cell service in the middle of a city? We got billions to spend on all these clean energy grants, but we can't put up a goddamn cell tower to have some decent service.
Oh yeah.
right.
You gotta get Starlink on your toolbox. Want that up there.
I ordered one of them Starlink minis now, so
Yeah, we drove with Curtis from Brick and Mortar. He's an investor, and he had one. He brought up from the States. It was so sweet. Yeah, going through the Rogers Pass, just full bars, like on your computer in the back seat.
Yeah.
It was, so I'm looking forward to that because we need that. We do so much traveling and then chasing.
You guys do need that actually for sure.
Yeah.
So my brother uses his on his service truck. He just uses it like a regular household one, and it seems to work okay. But sometimes when it's driving, it's a little bit iffy. But that's where
the new one was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like we do so much work, but like I gotta. Now that I've been going back and forth a lot more between Golden, dealing with the things on Golden, getting the new shop built, and dealing with the things in Merritt, and then driving down to Vancouver to go meet customers or government people or whoever I need to meet. Like I travel a lot for work now as part of the job, or meeting suppliers, or over in the like. You get the point. It's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Podcast every Tuesday from the pickup truck.
Right.
If we can swing it. So we did have some more bit of Edison news. Why don't you tell them, Chase, about where we are at the investment?
Yeah, so that's exciting. The investment, we crossed over the $6 million mark last week. It's still going pretty good. I haven't talked with Eric to see where we're at this week on Wednesday, but he's told me that a couple people have put in a few $100,000 each, or like you've got couple of people that came in for some larger investments, so that should pump up those numbers a fair bit. And I think we're going to get a decent shop. We laid out the shop. So I was out in Golden on Monday on the way to Red Deer. We laid out the shop. We talked with the electrical contractor about running the power. He recommended the best shops. We got the shop site layout. Spencer came out. We mapped out the property, and we got our CMVSS, Canadian Motor Vehicle Safety Standards person. We need a test track. We showed him where we were going to put the test track, what he thought, and he was giving us the guidance on the test track, and we got a layout that works for us, the test track, our shop, and we can still keep that log yard going.
So the shop itself, we're still like, it depends on the investment, but right now with the couple investments of a few $100,000, they're like, hey, we're looking at the nicer shop, or still?
No, we still in the broke at. No. The nice shop is not the couple $100,000 shop.
No, I meant like
shop is
progressing enough that like we could start hoping for that. But
I think we got to raise a little bit more money now. Like we do, but we've done the more formal things like making a pitch deck. So we're making a pitch deck. Some of the bigger investors that want to come in for a couple $100,000, they're like, hey, we'd love to see a business plan and a pitch deck and those things that a normal fucking company raising money have, you dumbasses. So they've been working with us. No, they're actually really great guys. They're just a couple guys really big in the trucking industry and those sorts of things that has a few successful trucking companies, and we've got a great plan together. We've shown them like, hey, this is our expected financials. This is where we're at. They're starting to yeah, all right. We'll formalize it. We'll help you make one.
What else happened when we were in Golden? We were in Golden last week, and we had something pretty cool. We had some government support there.
Forgot about that. Our member of parliament came out. For the Americans, that's basically like a congressman. So came out, showed our support, what we're doing. He found out that we were moving to town. He wanted to meet with us. He was a representative of the local area, and he drove 3 hours to come meet with us. So big shout out to Rob Morrison. And
I took a picture of his business card. He's got a cool title. It's like National Security and Intelligence. There it is.
Yeah.
That is
the guy in charge of National Security and Intelligence.
That's it. That's what it is. Rob
Patrolling
Morrison.
the border with 303 Britishes.
Yeah. Pretty much. I have a few.
Building army trucks.
I have a few of those. And then we went to
we do not have a military contract. That was a joke. I've been told during an investment raise, I'm not allowed to make a joke and be like, we're building an army truck, because people will take that seriously.
That's a good point. Yes.
We may or may not, and I cannot disclose whether we are building an army truck.
We cannot say anything.
We cannot say anything about any army trucks that may or may not exist.
We're building a lot of trucks for Ontario.
We're building trucks. The projects that have been announced are the projects that have been announced.
Yeah, we're building trucks for Ontario because they're the only truck they can buy, or we're the only truck Ontario can buy now. So that's cool.
Yeah, we really need to figure out how to get to production.
We gotta
Like,
talk to Mr. Ford.
Here, we got Scott said he tried to invest, but in the States, you have to be an accredited investor. Yeah, here too. It's not our fault. It is because of government regulation. We want all the little guys. It goes completely against what we stand for, but we have to follow the government's rules. It's ridiculous. We are so pissed off. We've had like very emotional meetings about it. And sorry, like we would like you to be able to invest as well. It's out of our control.
Yeah, no, I think you should probably read out what the comments say when you put them on the screen because it's an audio only podcast.
Yeah, with the audio, too.
I did read it out. I said I tried to invest, but here in the States, I have to be an accredited investor. I read that out.
Oh, you did. I just have a really
talk
bad
so
short-term
fast.
memory.
Yeah.
No, you just rattled that off way too quick.
And then we were in Golden. We met with like the town council meeting, I guess. So
Yeah, council met with. They invited us to sit in on their chambers meeting. I don't know what you call it.
That's better. I think it's a chambers meeting.
That sounds right for small towns.
Yeah, they were pretty excited for us, and like we had some big support there. It was we look forward to joining their community, and we're glad that they're looking forward to us joining the community as well.
Not to, I'm sure it was all positive or anything, but was there like one little old lady or something that was like, I don't want you bringing that technology?
No,
Nothing?
they were all awesome.
Nice, that's awesome. Good to hear.
Go-kart kits are at the port right now. Chase and I are taking off to Nevada to go beat up a Dodge Ram in 2 days from now. But when we get back, we're going to try.
That was the wrong button.
Very jealous about that. The going out and testing
trying to clear
Dodge Ram
notifications. Sorry.
in the desert. That sounds like an awesome time, guys.
Yeah, we hope. We really don't know what we're getting into.
How did that go about? How did that come? Like they just dodged. Like, hey, you guys are some crazy guys on the internet. Come down here and wreck our vehicles.
Well, hold on. We're not allowed to talk about this because we have a thing that we're not supposed to talk about this until 2 weeks from now.
No,
3 weeks from now.
That's not true. They said there's no embargo. We're allowed to talk about it all we want. We cannot release the review until 2 weeks after.
We can't release what we're doing until we can tell people we're doing it, but we can't release what we're doing. Okay. We'll just leave it.
Release our opinion on it until 2 weeks.
Okay.
After.
So we'll just leave it for here. We're going down. Dodge has invited us down to meet with them. We're meeting with a couple of the guys from Stellantis, a couple of engineers. Should be a good time.
All right, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. So the go-kart kits they're coming to Chases. So when we're back, we hope to get them rolling out. People, we don't pay for transportation of the kits. That's on you guys. But we're going to try and help out a couple people and get them at least closer to where they are. So hopefully by mid next week, schools can hopefully start getting their kits.
Yeah, the only shitty thing is that they had to ship the batteries separately, and the batteries aren't going to be here for another month. But at least they can get started building the go-karts.
Yeah, there's lots they can be doing before that. So,
okay. I guess going back to the Golden property, there's this feature at the property. It's so cool. It's a giant ball, which sounds not cool, but if you're a big child, it's amazing.
No, like I can't get over how big this ball is. Like we're not doing it justice when we say that there's a giant ball. Like there is a giant steel ball. We weighed it. This steel ball weighs 20,000 pounds.
It's like you'd think it would be a wrecking ball.
Like what? Yeah.
But its use was even cooler. What did they use it for?
So what they do is they tie a big chain onto it, and then they grab a couple of D8 cats, and they knock down. They use it for like clearing shrubs and bushes and trees, and like they just pull over buildings and shit. Yeah,
it's really fucking cool.
It's such a cool ball. Like I'm just honestly, the ball was a big selling feature of the property.
Yeah,
and the wheel
that
loader.
finalized the deal. The loader was pretty sweet. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Chase got to use the loader there, and it fired up really good, actually.
No ether.
I was on the back spraying ether, but Chase had fun on it. He was like a pig in shit, or like a kid in a candy store.
Oh man, I'm not an old loader.
Yeah, why not? We'll convert that thing one day.
We should probably go over some updates for Joel's truck since he's here.
I suppose.
We got one more golden thing. We're not relocated there. And don't show up there, people. We're not there yet. And it's an active log sort. It's an industrial site. Going there is dangerous. Don't go
Telling
there.
telling people not to go
No
in there is
touchy.
going to make people
The
go in.
scale guy will scream.
Yeah, no, we do really need to make that clear. Like, look, this is an industrial lot. It's got heavy equipment, logging trucks. We're not there. Please do not go to the Golden property. It's already, somebody added it to Google Maps. It's already on Google Maps, but we're not there. It's dangerous, and these people are just trying to do their jobs. But they've gotten a lot of people to be like, I'm here to see Edison Motors, and they're like, they haven't even built their shop yet.
So don't go there.
Mhm.
And okay, what? Tell me about this sleeper.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we parts have already showing up for Joel's truck. So we're gotten suspension showing up, axles showing up, sleeper. We've ordered all the sleeper. The cab should be here in about a month. So rear ends, frame rails are getting ordered. So most of all the parts have all been ordered for the truck. I think 95% of all the parts have been ordered for Joel's truck. We're building the other ones. What we're going to do is we're just going to stockpile it, but we set up that sleeper. Got a nice classic sleeper.
Wicked.
Oh, man. Sweet.
That'll be nice. A little bit fancier than the boring old gray. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be sweet.
I'm not like I don't. This sounds terrible, but with Joel and his sleeper, I don't want it to be that big because when we were at that show and it was 3 a.m., Joel had a sleeper all to himself and didn't share any space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe this bigger one,
did.
if that happens again, we can have a double have a bunk bed in there. So you have room for us, maybe. But
I drove all day and night, and I wanted to get comfy by myself. All right, I don't want to have to
Jordan wanted
deal with
cuddles.
Jordan. And
I did want
You had-
cuddles and chicken wings.
you had
And he
to wash
chicken
the
wings.
truck anyways, in case the crackhead came for the coppers. So that's on you. I was
No,
the
fair
I was
enough.
the delivery
Fair
guy.
enough. The big sleeper is cool though. A lot of room. What about a
Oh,
toilet
yeah.
in the sleeper? What's the
We've
weight on the
ordered
toilet?
a 48-inch
Yeah.
coffin. So the sleeper, we went with ATG sleepers out of the United States. Hopefully tariffs don't screw that up. But guys, you got to check them out. ATG sleepers. They do all of the old school classic, like the old double eagle sleeper style, and
Just everything.
they even make sleepers with little toilets. Like, man, as a truck driver, the ability, like as a long haul driver, the ability to just have a couple things, like a sink to wash your hands, brush your teeth, and a shitter to shit in. It's got a little holding tank, a little water, like you would activate like an RV. You pull into an RV septic, you refill your water tank. Like a lot of cities and places all have these RV sandy dumps. You would just pull up with your truck, dump it at the end of the week or whatever, and you get like a week out of your holding tank, week and a half, and you just empty it on the weekend. Or
That'd be sweet.
I've been
they
hearing
even,
of
if you
people
get the
got
really
pools
big
for it.
one, they have like a little tiny shower. They even have the option to have a little shower. Like I'm not as keen. But a little tiny sink and it's 40 below. Like it's 40 below. I don't want to wake up, realize I ate fucking Mexican food, and have to like drop trowel and make an icicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these the guys that
yeah.
also do those like massive sleepers too, or they don't offer any of those? Like, you ever see the ones where like they're on a stretch
The
frame?
double
truck
wide
and
ones.
Oh,
barely
that's
average?
ARI.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's not the
ARI does the really, really big ones, but
ones
ARI
are
doesn't do the
crazy.
smaller ones. So those ARI sleepers, if I was going to do like a highway truck,
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah.
said, if I'm doing a highway truck, I'm going to make a cab over. Like if we're doing a highway truck up, it's going to be a cab over. And we're going to put a big ARI sleeper with the full shower, like the full bed, the
Mini
little
bar.
kitchen, the stove. Like you've got an extra 8 feet of room between your cab and like the end of your hood, or like an extra 6 feet of room between where your cab and your bumper. If you ran it as a cab over, that's 6 more feet that you can give the driver for living space. Like we should be prioritizing driver comfort in a highway truck.
Well-
Like they live in these things. They're their homes.
I've seen guys do it who are like, they're not like retired, but like near retired, and they go around with their wife and they go in these giant sleepers and they just live out of it. Like they're traveling, but they're actually making money while they're traveling. And some of them are so beautiful. Like there's some really big ones out there.
And the cost is about the same as the winch tractor rig up. So
No,
it's not that crazy for those bigger custom ones.
Do it, Joel. Go for it.
No. It'd be hard looking out a window 12 feet behind me. I don't have to deal with that. Must be
Yeah, fair
camera.
enough.
Like this on a rig
Yeah, I have to like get up and walk to the back,
Sweet.
look, come back up to the front again.
longer than the fucking bed truck
Yeah.
is.
It'd be
Yeah.
tough. I know a guy that has a 70-inch bunk on a winch truck.
I mean,
That's
that's enough. Those ARI ones are like 160 inch, like 170 inch bunks. Like you would have to run a cab over, and that'd be the only way you could do it.
yeah.
Controls, so you can also control from the back. You go right back there and control.
I got a remote for my winch. It'd come in handy if it was that big. I need it. Go stand outside and watch what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the exciting thing is that the parts are showing up for his truck. Motor's just been ordered, so we got one of the next build slots. We got a June build slot, so they're going to be building that motor in June.
Engine.
Engine, yeah.
Darren, damn man.
We get called out all
Chill,
the time.
man.
It's because
Did you see-
we are using electric motors and axles, so we have to differentiate between the two now.
I'm
Because
trying to find the comment. Someone said they're gonna do a shot every time Chase says it. Motor.
This guy's getting hammered.
He's getting hammered
Blackout
today.
drunk.
Motor.
it's a hard habit to break, and it's understandable. I often also call them motors, but now we're actually dealing with motors. But whatever. I'll just be annoying and say it, and maybe.
It's like the confusion on the talking about the alternator too today while we were talking about the generator. So like the back end of the whole package together is the generator with the engine and the back end, which is called the alternator. So the back end of the generator is an alternator, and your alternator is also like you also have like a 12 or 24 volt alternator that just generates the power for the battery. So you have two alternators on the truck.
I found the comment. It was Tahanser. How would you say that?
I have no idea. No.
Tahanser. It's a cool name. I'm not used to it, but he says I'm taking a shot every time Chase says motor instead of engine. So if any of you guys are at home after work, there you go.
I think he's probably at 4 or
New
5 right
drinking
now.
game.
So.
I don't feel like that's going to stop Chase from saying it. I feel like that's only going to.
For legal reasons, we have to say if you're at work, don't play this game right now.
Or driving. But also, if
yeah.
you're driving, don't be watching YouTubes either.
Yeah, that's on you.
Well, but they could be the Spotify podcast. It's out now.
Yeah.
But yes.
Oh,
Okay, moving on. So we went to Nanaimo, and yeah. So
Yeah.
we went to Nanaimo and at it, Chase had a little bit of a speaking thing. With, yeah, go on about it.
So the BC Conservative Party invited us down to do a panel talk, and it was kind of cool because they wanted us to highlight the story that of Edison dealing with government bureaucracy issues and be like the struggles that we've had. They're like, please come down, and like you've been advocating for like small businesses and like the struggle of starting up a business in British Columbia. Will you come down and tell all of our MLAs and government representatives the struggles you went through? And it was cool. I was actually the only, everyone else was all these MLAs getting up there talking and saying what their policies and recommendations were and voting on things. And then they invited us to just be like, hey, come down here and represent the average small business in Canada and talk about it. So that being said, I'm definitely not a politician. They asked me what my thoughts are on like the current premier of BC, and like these are all guys wearing suits and talking very politically correct as politicians. And they're like, there was a panel talk and there was a couple other MLAs, but they asked me and they're like, Chase, what do you think of our current premier? I'm like, that guy's a pussy. They're like, what advice would you get? I'm like, stop being a pussy. He was talking about US tariffs. And they're like, for those of you not aware, in BC, we had a resounding, hard-lined approach from our premier. He's like, America is going to threaten tariffs on us. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an extra tax on alcohol from red states. That'll threaten the US. That'll make sure that they don't put tariffs on here because we'll
that
just have a
might
tax.
fold them.
Yeah, like, yeah, the entire economy done. 3 million people in BC won't be buying from certain states. And they're like, guys, they'll just do up the border paperwork so it comes in from another state. Like, this is the easiest bypassable route that you could be like, hey, instead of selling the alcohol from Texas, we're going to sell it from Washington on the fucking import paperwork. I'm going to put Washington instead of Texas. But you can't get up on stage and be like, we're taking a hard-lined approach and we're sending the Americans a serious message that they're going to have to put a different state down on their customs paperwork when they're trying to import things. Like, so they asked me about that, and I'm like, what do you think of him doing that? And what do you do? I'm like, that's a pussy thing to do. Like, just don't.
Oh, your audio cut out there.
You cut out
Shut
there.
down.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
and
back,
then
he's back.
and then Chase went up. Well, it was the same panel talk. It was good. He had
Oh,
out
I
of,
couldn't try
out
to.
of out of everybody
Oh,
there,
Bluetooth.
Chase
Yeah,
had like
Yeah.
what did you want Bluetooth?
Oh, there.
Out of-
Yeah, the Bluetooth. Like, tried to connect to my truck's Bluetooth.
Out of every speaker there, Chase had the most audience retention, the most audience feedback. He had people laughing, he had people cheering. It was great to watch. But then he also dropped a few F-bombs in Chase's style, and the moderator wasn't too happy about that.
No, so like they asked me, what's my view on the current government budget? Like, I know nothing about the government budget. Like, my job is not to read government budgets. My job is to build trucks. Like, I don't know why you're asking me this. You know why I'm here. And I just said, like, whatever you're doing, like, if you're gonna take my tax money, just don't fucking waste it. Take my tax money, but just don't fucking waste it. That's what I said, verbatim. And everyone applauded, and they're all hollering and thumbs up, and yeah, some babies cried or something. I don't know.
That one guy
But
wrote your details a bit.
I
as
get
soon
up
as you
there,
typed
and the
it.
moderator's like, in 15 years of moderating these things, I've never seen such a colorful use of vocabulary on stage. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He seemed like an awesome guy, but he's like, you swore, like, he found like the most politically correct way to be like, you swore on stage, and I don't think I like that. Like,
I don't get people like that because it's like when they're alone with their friends, they talk like that. We know they do. Like they definitely have used language like that, and then you're out on that panel, and it's like, how dare he? Like,
And the crowd went wild. Like people are sitting there, many of them like bored out of their tree. I'm filming the whole day. I'm like trying to keep my eyes open back there. And then Chase gets on, and everyone's like, "Yeah, woo!" He had like a standing, like not a standing ovation, but everyone was clapping when they said Chase Barber, and it was great. And like, I guess read the room if you guys want to relate to the people and the younger people a little bit more. Maybe it's good to be real.
I think people are just tired of stuffy politicians. Like, they're tired of this. Oh, you can't say this and you can't say this, and like guys. Like, we're at the Conservative Party, and you're like, we are a party of like anti-censorship, not being like, don't want, like, can't say this and can't say that and cancel. Like, you are the guys promoting that. Get up there and give an F-bomb if you want to give an F-bomb. Like,
Freedom of speech.
yeah, that's right. It's freedom of speech.
It was pretty funny. I missed it. Chase runs in. He's like, Darren, you got to go outside right now. Look at these protesters. So we both run out there, but they're gone. But there were protesters out there, and they had like the wrong signs. Like,
oh yeah. So the Conservative Party of British Columbia, which is a local political party, it is not affiliated with like any federal, but they're out there. They're protesting everybody else except for the people's event that they're at. So we were like, guys, like, I'm not saying I don't agree or disagree or whatever you're doing, but like, you're not at the right place. You're putting in a ton of effort. You spent a lot of time to make signs, put in your effort on a Saturday to come down here, but you didn't put the effort to see whether it was the right place. But like, they had signs where they were anti-Donald Trump, or they were anti-Pierre Poilievre, or there was other people there that were like pro-Trump. Like, there was it was a few people, like a few groups of protesters all throughout the day. There was people there like against other countries. Like, they were protesting German politicians. Like, we're not even on the right continent anymore, guys. Like, I don't know why you're protesting these German politicians. Like, this isn't
Wrong country.
Pointless.
German national politics. This is a BC. Like, it was just kind of funny. Like, there's just all throughout the day, there was just different groups of protesters showing up, and like, not one of them was there for anybody that
Anything useful.
that was like relevant to the event. But I guess maybe swing and a miss. But we saw their signs anyway. When Chase was outside, I was inside, and I saw like my highlight of that event was this lady was a female speaker was up there and she was talking about um, uh, issues, and at the end, like she said, oh, and there's this reporter and like named her by person from the CBC here. She's like, you're a liar, and like something about your organization are liars too, like calling out the CBC, and the whole place just went crazy. That was, I guess, the other standing ovation that was at the event, and I loved it because I personally, like, I don't know that the CBC are liars. Like, I looked it up. I'm like, what lies have they told? But they're definitely government funded, politically biased media.
I don't know. Like, I don't know which way it goes, but like whether they're not, but they do seem to take money from government. And if you're taking money from government, you're probably saying whatever the people giving you or money are telling to say. Like, normally when you're giving somebody money, they're saying the things and trying to get more funding. And the way politics works is like, if you're a government organization and you want more government funding, you have to make the people who give the funding happy. My big issue is CBC. My big issue with CBC is the fact that they kept saying, we have no money, we can't have Canada Day fireworks celebrations. We're going to have to lay people off here. But they turn around and they give the executives of a taxpayer-funded company millions and millions of dollars in executive bonuses while saying they don't have money to promote Canadian content, no Canadian stuff, like no Canadian fireworks, laying off Canadians. But then they can turn around and give millions of dollars as in bonuses to their executives. Like, that's bullshit.
I would not be surprised if the CBC was somewhat involved in lobbying to have the why we can't share media on Facebook, because they said that.
Oh, yeah. And it's, you know what, honestly, that gets us into the next government funding thing. So we found out on the Commercial Vehicle Innovation Challenge, the grant that we applied for and did not win, we are the only company in British Columbia doing commercial vehicles. We are the only commercial vehicle company in Canada right now that's Canadian owned, the only company building anything in British Columbia, and we're doing, I think, pretty innovative stuff. We did not win. They decided to give that to that $8.5 million to a foreign-owned company. A foreign-owned company last year, or year before, whenever they put out the statement, the last one I found, they paid like $8 million in payments to their CEO, millions of dollars. I don't know if it was dollars, but they were foreign owned. But they paid millions and millions of currencies.
Rupees.
Yeah, it was not rupees. They're European, so we'll go with that. But they paid millions of dollars to this company to support Canadian jobs in the clean energy manufacturing sector. And we're like, we really need to build a shop and get going. Can we get some funding? And they're like, no, not you. Paid out all this money. That company paid out millions of dollars to their executives as bonuses. And now, 6 months after getting the award, they decided to lay all their employees off, or most of their employees off, and shut down their production. So, cool.
Yeah. Sounds like
we gave $8.5 million to support Canadian jobs, and a company that pays their CEO millions of dollars in compensation shuts things down and lays people off shortly after. Like, what a waste of money. It's no different than the CBC.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars to executives while reducing content and Canadian stuff. Like, I'm a firm believer that I think we need a new rule that if you pay your CEO X amount more than the lowest paid employee, you are not entitled to get any government funding. If you are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you should not be getting taxpayer grants. If you have a good idea that can be supported by the economy, you should be supporting your else. Those grants should be helping, if you're going to give out any grants, they should be helping local businesses compete. Like, and that was the craziest thing, is that this company just made batteries for a company that made trucks. We even reached out and said, hey, we're local and we're just down the road from you. Can we buy some batteries from you? And they did not even get back to us. Like, we reached out and like we just basically heard back after a while. They're like, oh, sorry, you're too small. We're just going to be selling batteries to this other company that builds trucks down in the States. Like, okay, so this taxpayer money isn't even supporting the local economy because they won't even sell batteries. And now they're going out of business, or they're laying off their jobs because they're like, oh yeah, electric vehicles or electric vehicle production is down, so we're not going to be able to sell batteries. You're like, well, maybe if you actually worked with a local company, we could still be buying those batteries from you. But you wouldn't even bother returning my emails. We had to had another guy reach out from another guy reach out who knew them, and that guy basically told me, he's like, yeah, they're not interested. You're just too small to work with. And now they're out of business after
That's
taking our
pretty
tax money.
ridiculous.
Like, it's so frustrating for me. Like, it's
It
just
is very-
so frustrating.
It should be frustrating for every taxpayer too. Well, just everyone in general, but that's where our taxes are going. They're taking our BC taxes and then giving it to foreign companies where it benefits other people, when there are people and companies locally that will support the economy, support our jobs, support our innovation, but then they don't do that. And
Well, and that's not even this isn't even the worst example. This was just an example that personally affected
Recent.
us. Yeah,
It's recent.
there was one, $300 million, 200 million from the federal government and about $100 million from the provincial government given to a Chinese company to build a battery plant. So this was $8.5 million to build a battery plant. This one in BC was $300 million, all given to a Chinese company to build a battery plant. And then 1 year later, they announced that they are canceling the battery plant idea. So long, good luck. We're not going to actually build that.
those around Vancouver area, right? Abbotsford, maybe?
Yeah, Maple Ridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
300 million Canadian taxpayer money given to a Chinese-owned company that then turns around a year later and cancels the project. And then that's not even the worst one, because there was $18 billion given for a battery plant in Ontario that I believe is canceled now, right? I think that's the one that got canceled. I should probably double check that.
Yeah.
Double check and fact that. But like, there's just insane amounts of money wasted. Like, how many, like, did you see in Merritt? So we're from Merritt, BC. But did you see this weekend or this week, the Merritt Hospital had to close its emergency room again.
Again, this happens like almost bi-weekly.
Almost bi-weekly. Like, and we're on a major highway where people are getting into car accidents, having a heart attack. For those of you that don't know Merritt, our nearest hospital is an hour and a half away. Or no, Kamloops is 1 hour away.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was thinking Kelowna. 1 hour away. So if you have a heart attack, you have to go 1 hour to the closest hospital. And we can spend $300 million to hand off to a foreign-owned Chinese company, $8.5 million to a European company for projects that get canceled, but we can't keep a hospital open. Like, this is getting ridiculous. It's such a waste of money.
It sounds like you could run Doge in Canada, Chase.
This isn't like you just choose to live an hour away from a place with a hospital. You have a hospital there, but it's closes, so you have to find another one. Like, a lot of people, they need to live by a hospital, but when your hospital just closes, you're screwed. And to put it into perspective, like, we're on the highway through hell, and it's the Coquihalla Highway. It gets so bad in the wintertime that's like an hour if you can make it, if it's open. Like, that highway can be treacherous in the winter. So you have someone that needs it, and then they have to like drive the worst road in the worst conditions to get there. It is pretty bad.
Not only that, like, can you imagine, like, you got a kid and the kid breaks its leg, gets into something, and you got to suffer for an hour car ride down the road. Like, it's a level of care that we deserve a lot better being a developed nation. Like, it's disgusting.
Oh, it's 2025.
Like, it's like, I'm not even that much of I'm not the most conservative guy. I'm pretty neutral, but I've gone pretty hard conservative, like, because somebody needs to address this. Like, I'm an EV guy. I like the electric vehicles. That's why we started building the hybrid electric vehicles. I don't mind some of the views on the left, some of the views on the right, but like, now I'm starting to go, like, enough is enough. This is getting insane. We can't afford this anymore. Like I said, that thing. You can take my tax money, just don't fucking waste it.
Want to circle back to Nanaimo for the one last thing. Black Fred. Black Fred is awesome.
What are you talking? What? Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I love Black Fred. So we found out about an MLA and the mayor of Nanaimo. You guys gotta check out Mayor of Nanaimo Black Fred. Like if you're near an internet, just Google that.
YouTube
But-
it maybe. There's videos. The guy is amazing.
The guy, it was a pirate, and he full on for like 20 years. He served as mayor for over 20 years, and he would just dress up all the time as a pirate and ride a bathtub around in the harbor of Nanaimo.
What?
He held
Yeah.
he held bathtub races from Nanaimo. He held bathtub races from Nanaimo to Vancouver, which is like it's like a 2-hour ferry ride. Like that's some huge distance.
He's like, yeah, we're gonna race bathtubs across the open ocean for 2 hours. Like,
At least. And so we're watching his videos. This guy, he is a character, and we're like, oh man, he obviously is a drunk. Just there's some lady like by the statue where we're like learning about him. She's like, he was not a drunk. He was a leader, an innovator, and a drunk. We were like, does she just sit there all day just to like tell people
Stand
that?
up.
Because that's great.
honestly, I'm for it. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm at the state of politics where I would actually just vote for a guy that's like, I'm gonna dress up as a pirate and I'm gonna just sit in the bathtub and drink rum in the harbor. Like, you got my vote for mayor, buddy. Like, you can't do any damage.
Like,
Like,
it shows how far we've fallen.
yes, you're like just a guy that's like a drunk tyrant for mayor, and
Like,
it's
hey,
not like
that
he.
can work. Give it a shot. Like,
And it must not have, because he was the mayor for 20 years.
that is crazy.
Like you just know every time he goes out, everyone's buying him drinks. Like the guy was. You just look him up, watch the
Maybe
videos.
he
It's
wasn't drunk
hilarious.
on purpose. Maybe he was the
Mm.
victim. Everyone
Maybe.
buying him shots.
Frank Ney is his real name. They said in the chat there. See that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
he's
you
a
go.
white guy, so I don't know why they called him Black Frank.
Oh, I definitely thought. Okay, good to know.
Like it says on his statue, Black Frank. Like we didn't just like make that up being jerks. That's what it
Yeah,
says.
you just
on
didn't
his-
see
on
him
his
be like,
plaque.
oh, Black Frank.
Yeah, we don't know where that
White
came
guy
from.
just standing there.
It's slightly problematic.
Yeah, it was a little wild.
Remember that CEO that got assassinated a little while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking one guy called you Chase Luigi Barber.
So we got some comments here. We have JM Studios. He became a member just to ask a question, so I think we should just honor that. His question was: an Edison truck would be a really good platform for a mobile Doppler trailer, a radar.
Doppler radar.
What? And since those are usually run two power units, the prime mover and the generator to the radar. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Okay, Doppler radar is what you use for like weather forecasting.
Them big white bubbles at the airport. That's a Doppler radar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cool demands where it really makes sense for this hybrid application that I love. And things like that, it's like we've met so many trucks where the truck has a motor to move the unit out to where it's going to be operating, and then an additional motor has to fire up to provide electrical power. So you have to have a truck that has a generator, that has the equipment. Like, why not just make a hybrid where your truck already has the generator? Like, you can get rid of an entire other generator on this thing.
Yep. Okay.
And now that oh no, I was just gonna touch on that on one thing, that one of the issues with new equipment, and you talk to a lot of manufacturers, new equipment is requiring more and more electrical load. We're putting in just basically more electrical equipment, less mechanical drive equipment. It used to be that you would mechanically drive or hydraulically drive equipment. Now everything is getting so fancy and so complicated that they need huge amounts of electrical power that they're having to mount generators. So I think this is coming along at a perfect time. Like, our technology right now is hitting the market at a perfect time, because we're going to get a leading edge advantage because we're vocational, and these industries are in vocational. We will have a great first moving leading advantage, because everyone that makes those systems like Doppler radar or volumetric mixers, those sorts of things, they're going to integrate into the Edison operating system, I guess. The operating driveline system. Like, they'll be running our voltages, our hydraulic pumps, our electric drives. So that means once you spend that time and effort, yes, it takes us a little bit longer to get set up. Yes, we're going to be a little bit slower to market, but the customers we have really are development partners to take something like that. And then next time they go to build a truck, we've got a locked in market. It's awesome.
We had a question, where can I find the video of chasing the panel? So that video, it's like a 25-minute talk. And if we just put that out just straight to YouTube generally as that video will just crush us in the algorithm. Most people won't care to watch it. But we did have Harmond, who's an MLA, come out and visit Chase there. So what we're probably going to do is include it, because he was the guy who was on the panel talk with Chase. We'll include like the highlights of Chase's talk and add it to that video. And that video, I'd imagine, will come out within a month or so. But because people do want to see the panel talk, we will probably just do the whole thing, but just to release it to YouTube members only, just because it's not really suitable for a public video. It would hurt us.
And it doesn't really fit the theme. Like, it was a little bit more on the politics side. We'll figure out something.
Your crowd probably don't have the attention span.
You know, we could probably put it up the full thing in the members only. So if people are interested, they can join the members only and watch it. Like, that's a much more better. Like, those are the videos that we want to put in the members only.
Right. Yeah. That's what I said there. I'm confused. Like, did anyone see those these thumbs that keep popping up on Chase?
Yeah, I was a little confused about those. What are those?
I don't know how people are doing that.
To explain, sorry, for people just listening on our little
thumbs up
video chat we're on, there's little thumbs up the
see?
pop right there.
Oh, it's me doing it.
What?
Oh, how are you? What are you doing?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
It's
the
his
finger.
phone.
Oh, what? I can't do that.
Yeah, I know you just. Okay, so in the video chat, just for people listening, if we put a thumbs up, or Chase only, I guess, if he puts his thumbs up, it puts a thumbs
give
up
him
on
the
the
finger.
screen.
See
I
what
tried.
does.
It doesn't work.
How many
No.
times?
Hold on. What about thumbs down? Can I give it a thumbs down?
Well, how about you don't? No,
Okay.
nothing. Okay, we're too distracted now.
Wow.
We need to get some more comments here. I think that's pretty much everything on the list. If you guys just want to.
Did we talk about DeVos and the pictures of the progress he had there?
No, yeah, that's a major update for those on the pickup trucks. So DeBoss Garage has got the pickup truck chassis all ready to go. So he's got the electric motors permanently installed in place with our axle that we developed with the axle tubes in. He's got the motor on. We're pretty well ready now to just put the cab on, minus the batteries. But the cool update there is that the batteries have been finished. They just finished them up last week. So we have all the batteries for the next trucks ready to ship. So Eric is taking Keaton, our electrical engineer, and they're going to be going over to the suppliers to do an inspection and testing on those batteries before shipping. So the batteries are finally done, which was a critical piece.
Those are up on our social media, the pictures of the frame and everything. You guys have to go check them out. It is gorgeous. Everything looks super well done.
It is. It's a sweet blue color. It's all super clean.
No,
The boss is crushing it. That was not the one.
Just teasing wildly, Coyote.
Yeah, sorry, Wiley. So Brian Fleming, he goes, with a big emphasis on vehicle testing, is there any possibility of coming to Australia? And
calling a road trip.
Yeah, I would love to. You know what? I was looking at that, like we can't go to Australia. And then I looked at some of the history. It's like Pacific, right at the start, sent a bunch of trucks to New Zealand. Western Star, when they were in Kelowna, sent a bunch of trucks to Australia.
We got 989s down there too from Kenworth.
Yeah.
Those are some beefy trucks down there in Australia pulling trains.
I feel like we're kind of in that Australian market, and like
Huge trucks.
with the US putting tariffs on Canadian built trucks, it's like, okay, if those tariffs go through and our trucks are 25% more expensive, eventually we would open up a plant in the US to sell to our US customers. We would have to build that manufacturing facility, but without the tariffs to Australia, we could ship those trucks to Australia. We just have to put the steering column on the other side of the truck.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get to roll out in North America and get everything perfected, and then have our installer network set up and then when we do go, which we hope to expand internationally, Australia would be one of the first on the list. We have such a huge support over there. I get messages every day from Australians. And I actually have my New Zealand citizenship and can live and work in Australia.
What?
Yeah.
You can live and work in Australia with a New Zealand citizen?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, why don't I feel like Canada should join in on that? Like, come on, let Canada in on that. Let the Australians and the New Zealanders come to Canada and the Canadians go over there. Like, we're basically the same country. Australia is just hot Canada.
And everything wants to kill you.
Here, the cold wants to kill you.
Yeah.
Over there, the animals do. Like, either way, they're.
Yeah, you're not winning.
No.
Ooh. Chase, you're getting some sass in the chat there from that one below that. But
One guy's asking about logging. I have a question for you guys about logging. If I get inside a log road, which radio should I have to listen to not get run over by a truck? Kind of depends.
Where you are. So, if you're in British Columbia, you want a VHF radio. Western Canada runs VHF radios.
Which gives you the RR channels.
Yeah, BC's RR channels. I'm not sure what the states use, and I've heard that Eastern Canada still runs CBs.
Yeah, they do.
I think the biggest thing is just don't find yourself on the logging road if you don't need to be.
Here's the thing: is that at the start of every logging road, any road I've ever been to, there will be a sign that has a radio. It'll have a radio frequency. If it's like a bunch of 6-digit numbers, that's a VHF radio. If it says like CB2, that's a CB radio. So just before you head up a log road, have a look, see the sign. It'll say your call-in procedures. Follow that sign.
Yeah, do that, or you will get smoked by a semi and die. And
Yeah,
they'll be
it's
fine.
all about the
They'll finish
wavelength.
the day's work.
It was explained to me like VHF goes up and down really far their wavelength. So in mountains, it hits you. It can travel farther in hills, but on CB, it's like more of a linear wavelength, and then it kind of gets screwed up on the hills.
I can't pin these comments, but the one I was talking about, Chase,
You
was someone put the steering column on the other side of a center truck LMFAO. That's what I was talking about. But not all of our trucks are center steering.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Pay
Oh, that's
attention, damn it.
Yeah.
Mr. Crazy.
that's the guy who's doing the shots. So
hand
Oh, yeah, he's
steer.
yeah, guys, wasted.
Yeah.
So we've kind of moved away from the center seating. A lot of people miss that update. So I thought the center seating made sense.
It
Great
does for
visibility.
stuff.
Yeah.
It really does. Like loading the truck, way easier center seating. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
winching, it makes sense. There's a lot of most of your equipment is all center seating, tractors, loaders, street sweepers, the rest of shit. But I think it's more like a special niche kind of
But
thing.
like,
you know
are
what
we
I
still
mean?
gonna offer it? So like I know no one's ordered it yet, and it has been offered. But like, are we gonna remain to offer, still offer it? And if someone wants center seating, we will do it. Or is it like?
I don't know. I'm trying to streamline the production a little bit more, just being a smaller company,
Yeah.
trying to minimize the amount of things. But I think we got one special customer for the undisclosed project that they were adamant for that special project that they had it, but that's a special use case. But
Yeah.
because we've done that special project, it's been designed, and that customer will probably continue to order those trucks is the plan. We will make them for that. We could offer it, just maybe a bit more of a premium since it's a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
like a
sure.
one-off kind of thing.
Yeah,
There's
it's honestly pulling a trailer sucks with it too. That's the only.
It's a little different. It doesn't suck. It's a little different. Definitely a little different.
Yeah,
You like it?
I didn't like it. I thought I would. I wasn't a big fan of the center seat.
It was tricky. It was.
I can
I
up the
st- I
trailer
st-
where both sides are blind.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Mark wants me to mention, we had a chat on the phone there the other day, an idea of a vertical crankshaft small diesel for installs in small trucks. And that's kind of like that undisclosed project is because you're doing diesel electric, your engine doesn't have to be in the traditional spot or the traditional.
What is a vertical crankshaft?
Yeah.
Connor, hold on. I gotta ask the mechanic. What is a vertical crankshaft?
Fucking nothing's coming to me off the top.
I've
of my
never
head.
heard of a vertical
Connor
crankshaft.
folding under
No.
pressure.
We have a lot of options of where you can place the engine. You can place it behind the cab. You can place it wherever it kind of works. But for a pickup,
Yeah, you can place it wherever, but we don't know what a vertical crankshaft is.
I can't explain it very well.
Like, where do your pistons fire?
Like a boxer motor? No.
I don't know. That's maybe that's still horizontal for the
Yeah.
crankshaft in a boxer. You'd have to just a boxer mounted on a.
Flip a car?
I don't know.
Ryan says it's like an outboard motor.
Oh, like a boat with with like a leg for like
Oh.
for like your kicker leg for a boat motor kind of thing.
Probably not.
That's a little
I don't-
wild.
I don't know if I haven't heard about it. It's one of those things where people got to be able to find common motors. So if they have an issue or they need to rebuild it or fix something, they can commonly find the parts. Vertical crankshaft may be beneficial, may have some advantages, but if it's not common and people can't service it, that's a major drawback from like looking at us where we have to sell and service these things and offer warranty. If it goes somewhere that's not near us and it's a unique motor, it's not something commonly off the shelf, how do we service that?
There. We're pretty much through the questions and through the sheet there. I don't know what
Sounds
else.
good.
you
Well,
guys
I
have.
better get running
You
here
didn't send me
then,
the
and-
notes there, and that would hurt me.
What I did, it was in the group chat.
No, Chase sent some notes. You didn't send
You're just
any.
not
No, it
paying
was in the
attention.
group chat. That's 100% in the group
Nope.
chat.
You're not paying attention.
It's above that. Chase responded to those notes. I sent like a huge list.
Oh.
Yep.
It's in the group chat. Oh, we are the worst for that.
I wouldn't do
I
you
did
dirty
it.
like
I
that.
called you out for that last time, Chase, and I did it this
Oh,
time.
there we go. It worked one time.
I wouldn't do you
Yes.
dirty like that, Jordan. I gave
Whoa,
you.
whoa,
No.
whoa.
That's why you weren't asking them. I'm like, well, I guess I'm asking the question.
No, I usually ask them, and I was like, "Oh, he didn't send them to me. My bad." I seen Chase's pop up, and I was at work, and I didn't even scroll up to see yours.
I wonder what Chase is replying to. Probably himself.
Yeah, just talking to himself.
Well, it's not the first time.
Okay.
No, my bad, boys.
Oh,
Anyways, is there anything-
Joel's got a little crush there. Look at that stud Joel in the back of the truck there. From
Hi,
Matthew
Matthew.
Lewis.
I do want to call it another chat way farther back. Someone mentioned they were talking about the guys in the truck, and they said the not sketchy looking guy. So,
That's me.
so no, they're referring to you as the sketchy looking guy, Joel.
Oh, okay. That's great.
I liked it though.
Yeah,
like,
it works. It's all right.
I missed it. I gotta.
It's somewhere up there, but it just says like the not sketchy looking guy.
I gotta run because I gotta pee real
Okay,
bad
well,
here
you
now.
guys gotta. We have to let the audio upload after, so that we have.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast.
Well, you can go pee.
Okay, guys.
Well, and but now that we're doing this, guys, we do keep notes of like questions and things to bring up. So if we see some good questions come in the comments on our videos on YouTube and that, we'll write them down. We'll try and address them between now and the next podcast. So
So I was just gonna hop in there. That's a really good point, especially with like if you go to the Edison YouTube page and go to the podcast page, that's where we post them. And on there's a lot less comments, so we're gonna see those a lot more. Like I check through them, Theron checks through them. Like we all look at those. So if you have some important questions, put them in those comments. We are going to see them. Where if there's a video that has, 100,000 views, there's a chance we miss your comment. So
David says, or text dot says Joel ain't sketchy and he gave $5.
wow, how nice.
He's a member. He's a decision maker member, and with that tier on the YouTube, you get into a private WhatsApp group with everybody. You also get like, I don't know, a discount on.
and I mean like a private ad thing. You need to like, yeah.
There's an NDA you have to sign, and but yeah, that's the top tier. But he's a member of there. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, sign off.
Bye.
Catch you guys later. I gotta.
Deuces. You gotta go pee pee.
And
Don't
Oh
end
no,
it.
I gotta stay. Don't
Yeah,
I?
don't leave.
Yeah.
Right.